Hey guys, Kyle here with Hornbaker Acres. With spring fast approaching, that means that you're going to start to get more swarm and removal calls. And I think one piece of equipment that every beekeeper who does removal should have is a Bee Vac. Now, if you research online at all, on YouTube, various websites, you'll see that there's several different styles of Bee Vacs. But they all kind of have the same idea in mind. Suck up the bees and put them in a container that is safe for the bees to be in, so that way you can dump them back in the hive when you're done with the rest of your removal. Now, the style that I've chosen to build for myself is a style where you can stack another hive body on top of the vac when you're done. If you haven't seen that before, we're going to take a close-up look at that today. So this is a unit. You'll see that I have a vacuum head on top of the unit, and I'll come in close here in a second. But that vacuum head provides the suction power to this top box, which has a seal in between. All levels, they have seals in between. The next section is a section where my screen goes, and again, I'm going to bring it up close and show you all in a second. That divider screen, because the bees are going to get sucked into this section, and this divider screen prevents the bees from going up into the vacuum head. So let me bring it close, and that way you can take a closer look at this unit. Alright, so we are going to take a close look at this unit. Like I said, there's lots of different styles. Some are built off of a bucket to where the bees are captured in a bucket and you just dump the bees in the hive from the bucket afterwards. Like I said, what I like about this design is it captures them in a hive body. This hive body has frames in it. It's actually just a medium, but it has frames in it that gives some place for the bees to crawl up. That way they can get away from each other and kind of help prevent overheating, especially here in Arizona. So we have just this top section that has the vac attached to it. Pretty simple design. I just cut out a hole in this top box and use some liquid sealant, like RTV, whatever you want to call it, on both sides. It's actually screwed in there as well, but I just use that sealant to make sure there's a good tight seal to it. So next we have the screen section. Hopefully you guys can see that. The divider screen. And what that does is it prevents the bees that are getting captured in the bottom from getting sucked up through this screen. This screen pulls out. I'm sure you've seen it in my other videos before, but it pulls out. And what that does is when I'm done vacuuming the bees, and especially if it's a cutout, where I cut out comb and frame it up, now I have a box of framed comb that I can set on top of this section here, and then remove that screen, and they're still contained. And by the time I get home, most of the bees will be back up on the comb. So the next section is pretty simple. It is just a medium honey super, hive body, whatever you want to call it, with some old foundation frames in it. And that gives an area for the bees to climb up. The next section is the bottom. Pretty self-explanatory. Bottom with a connection port here. What I like about this style is having this nice deep box in the bottom. It gives a place for debris to be caught. You know, when you're vacuuming bees, a lot of times it's in walls with insulation and dirt and debris, or in the floor of a shed. There's a lot of dirt and debris. You need some place for all of that debris to go, and not into the hive with the comb and sticking on the wax of the comb. So I like that having this tray here. It kind of catches most of the gunk. That way it's easier for me to transfer the bees without transferring all that gunk with it. So then the last component to it is the hose. Now, I've actually tried several different hoses. Because this unit itself is fairly heavy, I wanted a long enough hose to where I could keep the unit on the ground and not on, when I climb up a ladder or anything like that. Keep it on the ground and still have plenty of reach. So this hose is about 12 feet long, and it is a smooth bore hose, or a smooth interior sidewall hose. I actually found it at my local cow ranch. I think it's some sort of septic hose, to be honest. I'm not real sure. It's a real thick wall hose. I like it a lot because those smooth sides really make it easy on the bees. Most of the hoses you're going to find are those ribbed, flexible hoses. The bees are going to bounce off those ribs as they're being sucked through the hose. Now, most of the time it's not a major issue, but I do find some bee deaths from that. Using this style, I get very little bee kill from using this style because it is all smooth on the inside, and it is not very violent to them when they're getting sucked through the hose. Also, it helps prevent clogs. If anybody's ever used a Bee Vac before, you know that every once in a while you're going to get a clog of bees, especially because you're cutting out comb that has honey on it. All that extra moisture, the honey, sometimes the bees stick together a little bit. You're going to get a clog in the hose sometimes, and you're going to have to clear that clog. I've noticed that I don't get as many clogs with this style of hose. The downside to it is just not very flexible at all, and it's a heavy hose. So I guess that's the real downside to it, is it's not real flexible. It does make it difficult to use at times. So do research though. There's, like I said, other styles of Bee Vac, some that are just basically a bucket. The bees get contained in a bucket, and that's it. And then you dump the bucket of bees in the hive when you get home, kind of thing. But there's lots of different styles. Do your own research. They're pretty simple to build. Biggest thing with them is making sure that they're as airtight as possible. Some people will put a port on top of the hive that makes it adjustable. Basically a port with a sliding lid of sorts. So that way you can slide that lid back and forth and make that port larger or smaller to allow air escape, basically. And what that does is it adjusts the vacuum level at the hose. And some people will do that. I haven't had to do it. Pretty much the way I've got this set up, it's a pretty weak vacuum head, to be honest. It's just about perfect as far as the amount of suction available. It's just about perfect. I wouldn't really want to decrease it anymore. So if you're new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button now. Also, make sure that you check us out on Facebook. We're Hornbaker Acres LLC on Facebook. Also on our website, which is www.hornbakeracres.com, you will find lots of great information, various articles, DIY projects, videos, pictures. You'll even find some of our all-natural products that we offer for sale there on our website. Also, if you're new to our channel, make sure that you check out some of the videos that we've already done in the past. We're trying to do videos every single week. And so far we're succeeding. So also comment below what style of Bee Vac that you use, and then also comment below on a video idea that you might have for us. As I always say, guys, we truly appreciate all the love, kindness, support that you show us here on our YouTube channel and our Facebook page. God bless, guys, and happy beekeeping.